How do you migrate an entire corporate IT infrastructure to the cloud without destroying your daily business operations? In this lesson, you will learn exactly how. Welcome back to the Digital Transformation Masterclass. Today, we're moving from strategic theory to the rigorous execution of enterprise modernization. In our last lesson, we established the absolute necessity of aligning the transformation triad: people, process, and technology in that specific order. We emphasized that applying advanced cloud architecture or AI to a broken operational workflow just makes you fail faster. So, before you authorize any massive IT migration, you must first mathematically map and optimize your current internal operations. This brings us to the critical, data-driven discipline of process mining, which is the diagnostic foundation for any successful digital transformation. Historically, process mapping relied on human interviews and manual observation, which are inherently biased, incomplete, and totally inadequate for modern enterprise complexity. Process mining changes the game by eliminating human bias. It extracts objective, factual data directly from the event logs hidden within your existing legacy software systems. Every single time an employee approves an invoice, updates a customer record, or ships a product, your software generates a precise digital footprint. This footprint contains 3 vital data points: a unique case ID, an exact timestamp, and the specific activity that was performed. Process mining software then ingests millions of these event logs from across your ERP, CRM, and accounting systems to visualize how work actually gets done. It generates a dynamic, real-time flowchart that exposes the unfiltered reality of your corporate workflows, completely independent of what the official company manual says. This visual map immediately exposes the massive hidden bottlenecks, the unauthorized workarounds, and the redundant administrative loops that are quietly draining your corporate budget. You will discover exactly where data gets trapped in silos between isolated departments, causing severe delays in your global supply chain. Only by confronting this objective, mathematical reality can you begin to systematically eliminate friction and design a streamlined, highly optimized to be operational state for your company. Once you have optimized that process layer, and only then, is your enterprise finally ready to execute the third pillar of the triad, the technology migration. Migrating enterprise infrastructure to a modern cloud ecosystem is a perilous undertaking, and technical leaders typically choose between 2 primary architectural strategies. The first is commonly known as lift and shift, where you simply take your existing legacy applications and host them on cloud servers. While lift and shift is relatively fast, it is often a severe strategic error that entirely defeats the purpose of digital transformation. You are merely moving your monolithic, inflexible software architecture to a different physical location, inheriting all of its existing limitations and technical debt. You're just paying rent for a fancier garage to park your old car in. The superior, albeit more complex, strategy is refactoring. This involves fundamentally re-engineering your applications to be natively compatible with modern cloud architecture. Refactoring requires dismantling monolithic legacy software and rebuilding it as a distributed network of independent, highly specialized microservices that communicate via secure APIs. This microservices architecture is the absolute prerequisite for achieving the technological agility and scalability required in the modern, highly competitive global market. Think of it this way: if one specific microservice, like your payment processing gateway, experiences heavy traffic, the cloud infrastructure automatically scales just that one component independently. This prevents your entire enterprise application from crashing and drastically optimizes your cloud computing costs by deploying resources only where they are needed. Furthermore, this modular architecture allows your engineering teams to deploy software updates and security patches continuously, without ever disrupting daily business operations. No more maintenance windows that shut down the whole company. However, transitioning from monolithic legacy systems to refactored microservices introduces significant operational risk that must be managed with uncompromising technical discipline. You can't just flip a switch and expect your entire global workforce to transition to a radically new digital ecosystem overnight. Executive leadership must demand the implementation of rigorous risk mitigation protocols, starting with phased, iterative rollouts rather than catastrophic Big Bang deployments. You must establish parallel testing environments where the legacy system and the new cloud architecture run simultaneously, processing the exact same corporate data. This allows your quality assurance teams to mathematically verify that the new microservices are calculating outputs with perfect fidelity before you decommission the old servers. You also have to implement advanced telemetry and continuous monitoring dashboards to track operational latency, API error rates, and cloud consumption metrics in real time. If a newly deployed microservice begins failing or exceeding its budget, the system must automatically roll back to the previous stable version. This level of automated resilience ensures your digital transformation initiatives don't cause massive, highly publicized corporate service outages. Beyond basic software migration, the ultimate goal of restructuring your IT infrastructure is to liberate your corporate data from those isolated departmental silos. A truly transformed enterprise establishes a centralized, highly secure data lake that serves as the single source of objective truth for the entire organization. Marketing, finance, and logistics no longer operate on fragmented, conflicting spreadsheets. They all query the exact same real-time data lake through standardized APIs. This clean, centralized, and highly structured data architecture isn't just beneficial for operational efficiency, it is an absolute mandatory prerequisite for artificial intelligence. As we discussed in our AI Vanguard series, you cannot deploy autonomous generative models or RAG pipelines if your corporate data is unstructured and isolated. If your data is trapped in legacy systems, your AI agents will inevitably hallucinate, failing to provide accurate strategic intelligence to your executive board. Process mining and cloud migration are the foundational engineering steps required to prepare your enterprise for the impending era of autonomous cognitive computing. You are not just upgrading software, you are building the secure, scalable digital nervous system required to power your future artificial workforce. As technical leaders, you must strictly enforce this architectural sequence, identify the bottlenecks through data, optimize the workflow, and then build the modular infrastructure. Do not let vendors pressure your organization into purchasing expensive cloud migration tools before you have thoroughly audited your underlying operational processes. To assist your engineering and operations teams in executing this complex architectural transition safely, I have published a comprehensive technical deployment guide. This companion documentation details the specific open-source process mining algorithms and event log extraction techniques we've discussed. It provides highly detailed architectural blueprints for transitioning from monolithic legacy systems to secure, scalable, API-first microservices in a cloud computing environment. It also outlines the exact parallel testing frameworks and continuous monitoring protocols required to execute a massive enterprise migration without disrupting business continuity. You can access this critical operational documentation immediately in the professional GitHub repository linked directly in the video description below. I strongly encourage you to review these architectural diagrams with your DevOps leads and data engineering teams to perfectly align your corporate modernization strategy. Building a truly resilient digital enterprise requires a rigorous commitment to understanding the underlying mechanics of data flow and cloud computing architecture. Master the discipline of objective process mining, and you will uncover the hidden inefficiencies that are quietly destroying your corporate profit margins. Execute a disciplined refactoring strategy, and you will transform your rigid legacy IT department into a highly agile, strategic driver of revenue. The organizations that successfully map their processes and migrate to modular infrastructure today will completely dominate their respective global markets tomorrow. In our final digital transformation lesson, we will examine how to measure the ultimate success of these massive architectural shifts using data-driven KPIs. We will define the specific metrics that matter to executive boards, proving the mathematical return on investment for your modernization initiatives. Prepare your infrastructure for scalable integration, but remain fiercely analytical about the objective reality of how your corporate workflows actually operate. The digital vanguard belongs to those who architect change based on undeniable mathematical data, not outdated corporate assumptions or manual observation. Ensure your DevOps teams have thoroughly reviewed the GitHub documentation before we proceed to establishing enterprise KPIs in the final module. Subscribe to continue the digital transformation masterclass, download the GitHub process mining framework below, and join the vanguard. Thank you for your time.